Hello, my name is Tom. I come to you from Northern Maine. I am a deer hunter, a rabbit hunter, and a partridge hunter. And I've got two reasons you should subscribe to this channel. One is you've already clicked on one of my thumbnails, so you got some interest in the content that is in this channel. And the second is you're looking to improve your hunting skills, your skill sets out in the woods as a woodsman. And this is what this channel is all about. This is a how-to teaching channel. It's stuff that I have been doing. I have been breathing, eating, and sleeping this stuff since I was a little boy. Well, good morning. My name is Tom. I come to you from the great state of Maine. We got our first snow. Well, today we want to talk about what is a woodsman. What's a woodsman to me? The East Grand Woodsman. This is it. Hunting season is over. It's quiet as a mouse out here because of all this snow and beauty. If you don't have a cup of coffee and can't have time to enjoy the video this morning, I feel bad for you. Not too bad. I've been down here. I started down here 2 days before this snowstorm was getting in here. I needed to get this trail put in. I've been maintaining this trail to this spot for 40 years. You'd think after a while all the trees that was going to fall down would have fell down and we'd be done with it. Well, that's not the way it works. It was only one this year, but it was a big one. I had the half the size of a pine tree fall across the main head of this trail and blocked it off hard. The limb that came down had to be 60 feet long. Minimum 60 feet. It was basically the whole side of the tree. Big old pine tree. But I keep this open because this right here connects me to 5 square miles of swampland. What I'm doing here today is I've got a 24-foot aluminum plank. So what is being a woodsman? Well, being a woodsman, hunting season is over. That doesn't mean the work is over. At least in my world of being a woodsman. In my world of being a woodsman, when the season ends and most people hang their shotgun up or they hang up their rifle for the year, mine is just beginning. Yes, the 30-06 is back on the shelf. So now what I've got to do is I've had a wooden boat dock out here for 30 years. Like anything wooden, it goes to hell. Well, that went to hell. Make a long story short. As well as these cattails you see here. I've been here for 40 years plus. When I moved here, those cattails weren't here. Right where I'm parked is the water line, where you could come up here with a boat and pull right up to shore. I shot ducks right here where these cattails are years ago. Just poke your gun out through the trees and blast a duck. Well, now with these cattails, it's kind of a nuisance. So what I've got is like a 24-foot plank. We're going to put that in today, and that's going to get me out to the edge of the water. And then I've got a 16-foot aluminum boat that I picked up for free 2 years ago. Tree fell on it. Those of you that follow the channel, this was the boat that I was going to take into Beaver Creek. But after the tree fell on it, I decided that I would put it down here and leave it down here. Come down here, throw a motor on it, and then be able to run up into the swamp. Mainly next spring, and that's what brings me to today, of getting this thing in here. I plan on beaver trapping up in here this winter, but if I don't catch what I want or doesn't work out in the winter, I want this thing open for early spring, because beaver trapping down here runs into the middle way through April 15th. So if the water goes out, the ice goes out, I'll have this boat down here, I'll have the plank to get me into the boat, and I'll be able to run up the stream and put out some beaver traps. So that's my long-term plan for next spring. So that's what, part of being a woodsman for me is getting ready for the next season. Sometimes things don't go as planned, so it's always good to have a plan B. So let's just have a quick look at what's here for fire starters, without even really leaving the spot of the six-wheeler. You see that brown, all them brown leaves on that tree? By noontime today, the sun will have those dried out and be great for building a fire with. Right here in front of us is cattails. The tops of the cattails are great. The limbs of the cattail are great. Just got to play with how you're going to use those for building a fire. It's basically just making sure to grind them up fine for your flint and steel. And then if we come around a little bit more, you'll see right here on the shoreline is a gray birch tree that's just about laid over on us. More stuff up there in the woods, more of them brown leaves. Right there is a pine tree. The limbs on that would have fat wood in them. You'd preferably want to look for a bigger one, but if worst case scenario and that's all you could find, I am sure that there is enough fat wood in that tree to suffice for building a fire. And I don't know if you can tell, but way up in the woods there's a tree all covered in snow. That is a fir tree that will definitely have fat wood in it. And there's the 24-foot plank behind my six-wheeler that will become the new dock for out here. I am a retired builder, and that's a piece of equipment that was left over. So instead of selling it, I decided that I would put it to good use down here to help out with opening up this swamp for my boat again. On the ground over there is a very old wooden boat. I leave it there. I retired it there because I think that's a good place for boats to retire, close to the water. And that boat, its last tour was out here for many years. But I leave it there because foxes live under it. So if I ever want to trap a fox, I know exactly where to come. They spend the entire winter underneath that bolt hole. There's a nice little trail that they've kind of dug a hole in, and they live up inside of that boat in the wintertime. A woodsman is somebody that is very comfortable in the woods, day or night, day or night. Standing right here, having this cup of coffee behind you, I will show you, but there is a tree right there. Behind us is a tree with brown leaves on it. And they hang on almost all winter. And they dry out really fast. Like right now, everything's covered in snow, so they probably won't be that great. But once the snow falls off the trees, and once the sun comes out and hits these a little bit, these things will dry out super dry, and it's just like using newspaper or white birch bark or something like that to get your fire going. These are the things that a woodsman knows, and these are the things that if you're aspiring to be a woodsman, and that's why you watch this channel, these are the little things that I bring to the channel and bring to the world. Go back in my archives. I have fire video after fire video after fire video. I spent a couple of years working on fire videos because to a woodsman and knowing what is burnable, to me, is number one. It's the only thing that you should be learning that first couple of years as to wanting to be an outdoorsman. Take to heart that you need to know how to build a fire anywhere, anytime, under any conditions. So that's what being a woodsman is. Think about that when you're aspiring to be a woodsman. Don't follow a lot of that other crap, you know, buying gadgets and goodies and all of that. It's already out here. You know, 50 years I've been in the woods. Within an arm's length of where I am right now is a dozen ways to build a fire. You just got to know what you're looking at. There's a fir tree over there, so we know there's fat wood in that fir tree. There's the brown leaves, so we know them brown leaves. There's 2 ways to build a fire. Over there is a white birch tree. Now we've got 3 because of the white birch. On that particular white birch, I already know because I've been watching it and grooming it for about 5 years, is 2 feet of chaga. Now everybody loves and wants chaga. Well, chaga is great, but it's not right off the tree. You need to take chaga and season it. Take it home, clean it up, put it in a cardboard box, put it in a dry spot. I like up on top of the kitchen cabinets in the house. Warmest place in the house, driest place in the house. And then I'll let it sit there for 6 months. And now it's seasoned chaga. Perfect, 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 perfect. These are the things that a woodsman learns as he goes in his career of becoming a woodsman. Over here is a rock. Now I know this area. I've owned it for 40 years. Over here, but it can be in your backyard. It can be on any side of a mountain. It can be in any swamp. Just got to look around, know what you're looking for. Over here is a round rock about the size of a snowmobile. In that rock, I know that there is quartz. You can take your axe, you can take a hammer, you can take whatever, knock out a small piece of that quartz, and now you've got the stone for flint and steel. Building a fire. All of that is right here without even hardly looking for it. So these are the things of being a woodsman, is knowing your woods, knowing what's in them, and then you're good to go. Just keep adding to your skills, and before you'll know it, you'll have a whole pocket full of skills for being an outdoorsman and for being a woodsman. That's how I learned it. That's I don't know anybody else that didn't learn it that way, is one piece at a time, and eventually you've got it all. But what a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. I wanted to bring you down here and show you. I love these cattails. I don't like the ones that are here because they're in my way, but all I need is a boat dock. But over in them cattails, it is so easy to build a shelter and to get in out of the wind. It's a great fire source. So just that cattail alone has two things on it for building a fire. So you just look around. All I got to do is look around. There's a gray birch here, comes over my head. Lots of good stuff in there for building a fire. Cattails, lots of good things for building a fire. These brown leaves, lots of good things on them for building a fire. The list goes on and on and on for what is here. There's a pine tree there. There's a fir tree there. The other thing that is in here, if I look around, I'm sure I'll find it, is a dead tree for punk wood. You know, that's why you don't need the trinkets from the store. That's why you don't need the fire starters from the store. It's already here. Why lug it? Why buy it? Why? A whole bunch of whys, for me anyways, when you can come into the woods with a few basic pieces of equipment, your hunting knife, a few other things, and everything else is here for you. So, alrighty, well that's enough of that. I just wanted to touch on being a woodsman. Right now I'm going to work on getting this 24-foot aluminum plank out there where I need to put it. I will have to cut down some trees to set it on. And then that's going to be it. And I'm probably going to build some kind of a dock for it. I don't know if I'll do it this winter or not. I'm going to look around and see what I've got. I don't need much. But having something to pull up alongside of with the boat might be pretty handy. This is a heck of a place for muskrat trapping as well. So we'll see how that all plays out. But anyways, plans for the future, plans for the future. I'll see you next week. Have another sip of coffee, and you have a great week.